We should cut that out. We're probably not going to. I'm about to
SpongeBob?
snap her. Krabby
See you
baby.
later, Krabby baby.
Baby.
Laby.
Later.
Later, yes.
Awesome. Well, let's get right down to business, shall we?
Let's get real, raw, and regular.
I really wish that wasn't a part of this.
You know I had
I really
to.
wish it wasn't.
You know.
So today, friends, maybe not friends, maybe haters, whoever. My haters are my motivators.
My
That's
haters
not
are
true.
my fans.
Stop petting your dreads, weirdo. We're going to talk a little bit about, I guess, growth, probably some inner circle. I know this is something Brooklyn in the past couple weeks, months, year even has been really diving into for herself. I'm kind of a social bee, so I've been blessed to find some really great people to look up to in my inner circle, some people that financially have what I want, spiritually have, great relationship with Christ, great relationships with their husband. So just different things in my life that I've seen in my inner circle that, you surround yourself with people that have what you want, right? So I'm going to let Brooklyn take it away on how that journey has been for her, because it's not the same for everyone. And we'll probably talk about it at some point later for myself, because I know letting go of circles was a huge, deal for me. That comes with the people pleasing that we had talked about before. But I want you to
Get real, raw, and regular.
I will break this phone. Like, I will not continue this series if you keep it
You
up.
signed a contract. You owe
signed
me
nothing.
4.2 mil if you opt out of this.
I'm gonna let Brooklyn take it away with kind of the
Yes.
journey for herself and growth, finding her inner circle, what that looks like, and how she's handling that. So, go.
Yes. So when you start to read and you start to grow and you start to think about the things that you want in this life, most entrepreneurs, most successful people, most people who've made it, all talk about you are the average of the 5 most people you hang around. You are the group that you're in. And when I look back in my life, it makes sense. It made sense to us. It made sense to me about us, where we were. If everyone was drinking and hanging out and doing things, that's what we were doing. Maybe not to the extreme or to the full degree of what everyone else was doing, but that's what we became. And when I started to remove myself from that and I started to grow, I lost a lot of friends along the way. People who I thought would be in my life forever. When I stopped doing the things that I was doing, I no longer became cool or fun. And so the journey, besides really my sister and my current girlfriend right now, the journey kind of got lonely. I didn't have that core. I didn't have that person to reach out to, minus my sister, to push me or, and it's hard when your sister's like the only person that's like, who's really close to you that's growing, because being so close to her, she was my mentor, she's my sister, she's my workout partner, she plays so many so many roles in my life. So it's kind of hard to put all of that on her to grow myself. So I made it like I joke with Brylan, I joke with my girlfriend, and I make my own circle in my mind. In my mind, Trenton Shelton's my best friend. If you don't know him, he's a great motivational speaker. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. He is just a man of God. He is just a man on a mission, a man that he has what I want. Exactly what he does in his life is what I want to do in my life. So he became my best friend. I joke about Kevin Hart being my best friend. I joke about Stephen Furtick, a great pastor in North Carolina. His story is remarkable. He became my best friend. Ellen DeGeneres, she's my best friend. All these people that I aspire to be, and I love everything about them. I start to picture my life in that crowd. I started to project my life being their friend. And when I started doing that, it made me think about what I'm not doing in my life now that I'm not there. So, like, Brylan is a social butterfly. She'll randomly talk to people. I'm good with talking to random people, but me approaching the situation or me initiating and me starting conversations with random people wasn't really a thing that I did. Being out in the open and trying to start conversations, trying new things that I didn't do. I started to force myself to do these things. I started to force myself to start talking to random people. If something were if somebody was talking about anything and I had something to say, I would be the one to sit back and watch and observe and like in my mind know the answer, think about it. And now I step out of my comfort zone and I started to do those things. Throughout this last year, I've started to do those things. People who held higher power than me, I was always intimidated to speak my mind because I was always afraid of that fear of judgment. I was always afraid of fear of the way I look, the way I dress, the way I speak is not like most people. So like I told you, I'm vulgar. But I'm very professional when I need to be professional. But when it came to my general manager, regional manager, vice president, CEO, when I'm talking to these people, I kind of played myself. I kind of downplayed myself that I wasn't to the caliber to talking to these such people. And this year in itself, the level of confidence that I've got to speak to these people as I'm speaking to you, or as I'm speaking to Brylan, the confidence that I've got, it has been tremendous. And it has soared into different opportunities in my life. And I know the opportunities that are in my life will lead to people who are meant to be in my circle. So just because I don't have my circle right now of the people that I really want to grow and I want people to grow with me. Don't get me wrong. There's people who I want to grow with me. I want them to be side by side, but there's nothing worse than pulling people to grow with you. There's nothing worse when you're launching to grow and you want so badly the person next to you to grow with you, but they don't see your vision. They don't see what you see. So essentially you're hurting themselves and you're hurting yourself. You're pulling them, and as you're pulling them, that weight that's pulling, it's really pulling you down. Like you think you're taking off and you're gonna bring all these people with you, but all of that weight is left. All that weight, it pulls you down. Because if you want something more for somebody else that they want for themselves, it's never gonna happen. You're gonna waste your life, or you're gonna waste a period of time trying to get a vision that they'll never see. Then people will never see your vision the way you see it. They might have an idea, they might have the same core values or whatever, but the vision that God put in your heart, the vision that you have a fire about, have a passion about, that burns inside of you, people will not see that the way you see it. So to not let go, I still reach out to these people. I still talk to everyone. I still am nice and kind. I just simply don't want to do the same things every day. So the journey that I've been on has, as lonely as it's kind of been, has been the most fulfilling journey ever. The opportunities that have come my way since I started this mindset of all of these famous and successful, or not even money-wise successful, but just motivational people who are themselves, people who practice what they preach. They preach and what I preach. People who show who they are at all times and got what they wanted with the grind that they put in. This is the life that I want to lead. This is the life that I want to be surrounded by. People who hold me accountable as much as I'm holding them accountable, because I feel like we both in our life can hold people accountable all the time. If we commit to something, if something happens, we're there to be like this, yeah, okay. But there's nobody with that same fire back in my life other than my sister, or other than my girlfriend, or my mom, or select few people who here and there, but an everyday core 5 people I do not have in my life. And I made those people up in my mind. Well, they're not made up people, obviously they're real people, but I see my life being next to them. I see my life being of caliber, and it's a thing of self-worth. Finding your core 5, the closest people around you, that's what you feel that you deserve. The closest people around you, that's the life that you're intended to settle for, or that's the life that you're intended to soar with. When you look around you and that's around you, those are the people that you've built your life with. And if you look around and that's where you want to be, cool. You're on a path that, hey, you look to your right, your left, behind you, and everyone, you're like, yeah, this is good. Like I'm good with the people all around me. Then you've succeeded in that. But if you look to your right and left and you see the things that they're doing or the things that they have you really don't want to have, or you really don't want to continue to have, or you really just are over doing the same things over and over and over again, as I finally got done doing the same things over and over again, you'll change, and you'll change fast. You'll change in a hurry, but just know that the initial change it's a little it's a little lonely at times. It is. It's a little lonely at times, but that's when I feel like I'm alone. I feel like I hear my call more of what I'm supposed to do. I drown out the noise. I drown out the people around me. I drown out everyone who's telling me what I cannot do, back and forth. I drown that out, and I see myself, the crazy feelings and the crazy visions and the crazy dreams that you have. You're back to that little, childlike faith of what it is that you want. And once you drown out all the noise, nothing will get in your way. It's not going to be an easy road. I'm not saying finding your core five is easy, but in my mind, it's worth it to me on this journey, and it's worth it to me. So, yeah.
That's fantabulous. No, that was really good. She said a lot of key things there, and again, sometimes not easy, but the easy things in life usually don't lead to the, greatness. Discipline, hard work, perseverance, all of those things. I think even in finding the five, it's character building moments for yourself. Sometimes you gotta soar alone before you soar with the eagles. Eagles soar alone. So you want to be an eagle or chicken. But anyways, I'm super proud of the person that she's become, and as we've grown together, again, like, because we're so close, sometimes it's like the people you're closest with, it's hard, because as I want to push her, I used to just push her away. I'd be like, because we're just different in that. So she said a lot of key things in there. Reading has helped her. I know that she talked about Facebook, YouTube, social media, but she spends a lot of time listening to sermons, listening to motivational talks, listening to things that are fueling her, that are speaking life into her, because more than finding that five, you have to find yourself, right? So if you don't know what kind of person that you are, or that you want to be, then you don't know what kind of five people you want to surround yourself with. So that's super important. Maybe you want to be like the best painter ever, so you're studying Picasso, you're going to New York City art shows, or doing things that get you. Everybody's path is not the same. Actually, I'm a firm believer that there's no two paths in this whole entire universe that are the exact same. Sure. So you're walking, you're going to run into some trees in the road, you're going to run into, some dams, you might have to build a bridge. All these different things are going to happen, but I think the goal is to keep going. I have it tattooed on one of my arms. Is it this one? Nope. It's this one. It says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And one of my best friends, one time, I just remember I was in a place of trying to figure out what success was, or what growth was, or what this was. And I asked her, I said, Sin, like, when does this path get easier? And she straight up was probably the first person in my life, like, looked me dead in the eye and was like, girlfriend, it doesn't. Like, you just get stronger. And that, like, hit me like a ton of bricks, right? So as you're walking this path, just know it's a journey. It's not a destination, because as you get better, as your vision starts to become clear, not only does it become clear, but it expands, right? So like, you're driving through the fog, and you know that there's something on the other side of the fog, right? You can see 10 feet ahead of you, and then you're like, all right, keep driving. The fog starts to clear. Now you can see 20 feet ahead of you as you keep driving. That's how growth is. That's how the journey is. That's how vision is. So as you keep walking forward, you can see your vision expand. It gets bigger. You start to pray for bigger things. You start to hope for bigger things. You start to expect bigger things. And again, not monetarily, not materialistically, but just in your faith and your health and what your body can do. Like, we see these Instagrams of 80-year-old women, like, crushing double unders, running marathons, and what's the difference between that 80-year-old woman that decided to run through the fog, than the 80-year-old woman that's like, oh, I'm 80. This is what we do at 80. Like,
with that accent too?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. You don't know. You don't know her. You're not in her five.
Yeah. Esther.
So the difference is mindset. The difference is growth. The difference is choices. So that was really good. I'm super proud of the way that she goes. She really does think she's these people's best friends.
Kevin, Ellen, Trent, Steven.
She's still shouting them out.
We're not tagging them. We're on a first name basis.
They have no idea who you are.
They'll know. I know. I'm confident they'll know. But which brings me to what a really good. Where is he, little yeller? What was I gonna say?
Get to your point.
Yes, okay. What I was gonna say is that we talk about this life not being alone, not being meant to go through it alone. You're not supposed to be alone. But there's a difference of not going through this life alone and being afraid to be alone. And I've learned that I know what I bring to the table now. That whole self-worth, I know what I bring to the table now. And it's a quote that I have in my books, I have in my room, I have in my car. And it's just, I know what I'm worth, I know what I bring to the table, so that I'm not afraid to eat alone. So if you have that mindset that you're not afraid to eat alone, not that you want to eat alone, but you're not afraid to eat alone, you'll dig so much further into who you are as a person and start to understand yourself, to understand what kind of people you want to surround yourself with.
Boom. Cheek.
Is that a joke?
No, but you know what is a joke? This hairdo right now. Like, why is my whole ponytail on the left side of my head? I feel like a Spice Girl. I am.
Which one? Because I don't remember any Spice Girl having a hairdo like that. On that note,
that's fine. That's why I don't want to be in your 5 circle anymore. Because you're hateful.
Because I'm hateful? You're my only circle.
Just fix that.
No.
All right, guys.
Okay. You just didn't fix it at all. Now it's like that old school, like,
I think it looks
Lisa
good.
Turtle. You had a Lisa Turtle pony there.
I think it looks good.
Yeah,
All right.
I love your
We're
ponies.
cutting this.
We are. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.